Welcome to Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are coming to you from Washington, D.C., and we are joined by Cory Gardner. He is a member of the Congress from the great state of Colorado, where I lived one time, and I love Colorado. It's such a beautiful place. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm looking at a member of Congress who had his insurance canceled. Sir, right. How did that happen?
Yeah, you know, when we got elected to Congress in 2010, I talked about my opposition to the health care bill, right, believing that we needed something that would actually work to reduce the costs, knowing that that wouldn't. But we also knew it was going to create problems for a number of my constituents. And so my wife and I talked about it, and we decided that we would opt out of the congressional health care plan, that we would not get into the congressional plan, but instead buy our own private insurance in Colorado. And that's what we did. Rocky Mountain Health Plans there in Colorado is what we bought. And in August, we got a letter from our insurance company saying that, I'm sorry, due to the changes in the healthcare law, your health insurance has been canceled.
I'm rendered speechless because of all people.
We were pretty speechless too, yeah. And we found out quickly that it wasn't just us. I mean, there are 335,000 others in Colorado, 335,000 Coloradans who had their insurance canceled as well.
Because what's interesting is, you know, we've heard that the reasons for these cancellations was that the plans were considered, quote, substandard. I don't know what your plan was, but I would presume that a member of Congress would not acquire a substandard plan. You have children, I presume?
Yeah, we do. We have two kids.
Yeah. I'm a dad. So what was substandard?
So we found a plan that best fit our family's needs, knowing that we're relatively young, relatively healthy. We have two young kids. And so we picked a plan that we felt fit our family. And that's what amazes me, and the question that you ask is a good one, because I never presume that I know what's best for my neighbor in terms of their health care plan, or what's best for my mom and dad for their health care plan. But the government is now presuming that it knows better than we do for our own health care.
Did you figure out what element of that plan was considered substandard? I'd be fascinated to know.
I mean, there were a couple of things in there. I mean, there were some mandatory coverage components that were missing. Some of the requirements for counseling on drug abuse and those kinds of things were missing. There were some other I'm sure, deductible issues that, and we didn't have a very high deductible. Right. But there were probably some other components that were missing, and it just wasn't up to par.
So how are the Gardners doing? Forgive me for asking.
We had to find a new health insurance policy, and unfortunately, the one that we ended up getting is significantly higher cost than the one we had before.
So I do want to ask you about the issue more broadly, which is President Obama's statement, if you like your plan, you can keep it. Yeah. I mean, I figured healthcare.gov would get resolved at some point, and at some point it seems to be getting resolved. But that issue has hit home for a lot of people.
Well, look, it was the foundational promise that was made during the passing of the health care bill. The promise that the president made not just once, twice, but dozens of times as we went around the country telling people, hey, if this law passes, you not only get to keep your health care plan if you like it, but you get to keep your doctor. It's going to lower the cost of health care. Those promises were the way they sold it to the American people. They said, hey, trust us on this, because if you do this, you're going to keep your plan, keep your doctor, everything's going to be okay.
At this stage, the president did ask a variety of states and insurance companies to allow them to keep their plans at least through the end of 2014. Interestingly, some states said, no, we decline. We're going to make these people take different plans because they perceive them as substandard. What are we seeing in Colorado?
Well, again, what we've seen in Colorado is everybody has to go into the exchange. It's a Colorado state exchange. They're, I think, rejected a lot of the changes that the president was hoping for, but it's sheer politics right now. This is all about winning an election for the president, because he passed a law and he said that the law wasn't the result of the insurance cancellations, but yet he keeps delaying the parts of the law that caused the insurance cancellations. And so it really is about politics and not policy, and trying to end run Congress, which is a very bad thing to do.
His name is Cory Gardner. He now has insurance thanks to a new health plan. My name is Brad Pomerance. You are watching Charter Local Edition from Washington, D.C.